Hi there, how you doing today? I hope that you've had a great week and that you've been able to get your attention and your mindset geared towards getting ready for Sunday. We have a lot of things that are coming on Sunday, including a large snowstorm, so that's going to be a great day. I just wanted to go over the lesson that we have for this week. If you remember last week, we talked about Isaac was in the middle of a drought, and so they moved to the land of Gerar, which is, as we know, the land where the Philistines were settled. And there he was told by God to stay there, don't go to Egypt, and then they settled there, and he tried to lie about his wife being his sister, and then a decree was made by Abimelech to say that he is now safe to stay here, nobody can touch him, nobody mess with him, or else they'll be in trouble. Well, today we move into the next part of our story, which is found in Genesis 26, verses 12 through 33, and here we see a problem, because what happens is as Isaac settles there and his crops begin to grow, it becomes evident that he is being much more successful than the rest of the farmers who are there, and so his crops are coming back at 100-time yield, which is pretty incredible. And then his crops, or his animals, are getting bigger, and therefore he is becoming wealthier. And so Abimelech realizes, and the Philistines begin to realize, that this guy is quickly becoming the wealthiest man around, and pretty soon he's going to have enough wealth that he could take on our civilization and win. And so there's jealousy, there's fear, and so Abimelech comes to Isaac and says, "Leave us, for you're too powerful to live here anymore." And so Isaac begins to leave. And they left, and they went to a valley that was nearby, and there were some wells there where Abraham, Isaac's father, had dug when he had lived in that area. And so they began to unearth these wells, and as they did, the herdsmen from the area would come and become upset and that he was digging these wells back up, and so they would have an argument over it. In fact, he then went on and dug some more wells, and so the first one there was so much fighting over it, so he named it Hostility. And he dug another one, and there was so much fighting over it, so he named it the Well of Quarrels. And then he finally found a well where nobody fought him over it, so he called it Open Spaces, because the Lord had given room for him. And so the Lord comes to Isaac in the midst of this and says to him, "Do not worry, I'm still with you, I'm still going to bless you, I'm still taking care of you, your offspring will be successful here, you're fine." And we find that Isaac then built an altar to the Lord to thank the Lord for that. Then all of a sudden Abimelech realizes that, I let him get away without making a covenant with him. And so he comes to find him and he says, "Hey, we have discovered that your God is powerful and that you have been successful because of him. And now we need a covenant to make sure that you're going to be kind to us because we were kind to you." And so they come to him, and Isaac makes that covenant with him. And then as Abimelech and his men leave, then Isaac's servants dig up a new well, and they're excited because there's a well there. And so he calls that well Sheba, and the name of the city is now Beersheba, which we will talk about more as we go throughout the discussion of the patriarchs. So let's just talk about application a little bit. Obviously, when you read this story, the application part is kind of maybe not as obvious as it has been in some of the other ones. And so we're just going to lead into some discussion about some things, mainly the actions that Isaac took in the midst of all this. So here's the first question that I want you to just talk about. Was it right or wrong of Isaac to move around in the land that he had been told to settle in order to just keep the peace with the people who were there? And after we talk about that for a little bit, are there things like that in our life where sometimes it's better than making this giant scene about something that is right, for us to just kind of keep the peace with the people that are there? I think that'll be an interesting discussion. Also, the Lord came to Isaac. This is something that's incredible. The Lord comes to Isaac in the middle of this story to reassure him of the fact that he's going to be protected and blessed. So what are some of the ways where the Lord does that in our life now? Because that would be really helpful to be able to identify those things. And then lastly, we just want to talk about the quickness that Isaac had to go and worship the Lord and to thank him for what he had done in his life. And so what are some of the ways in your life specifically that you are quick to worship and to praise the Lord for the things He's done in your life. I hope that you'll have a great weekend. I look forward to seeing you on Sunday, and make sure you give yourself some time to get to church and wear your snow boots because you'll need them. All right, we'll talk to you later.